Impact Wrestling. Now, I'm going to say this. The show before Unbreakable, 1 week before. Is it good? Yes. You got good matches. And I'm not sure if everyone's going to agree with that. They probably won't say it was good matches. I do believe there was good match quality here on the show. Was the storylines and content good? And generally, yes. Not great, but good. But I have my own thoughts on one point in the show. And you probably know what it is. And I'm probably... Oh, I hate when my lights flash. And I will probably speak about one of my subscribers. I think he's a subscriber. If he isn't, it's cool. But let's go through the motions here. Not bad motions, but good motions. We got Jordynne Grace versus Kiera Hogan. A good match, a good opener. Madison Rayne at commentary. Why are they now acting like Madison Rayne is not married to Josh Matthews? We know they are. Instead of just going with it. Like I've said, you can see them in my face together. Well, whatever I can get to Josh. Look, I would rather see a story with Josh Matthews and Madison Rayne than adding Melissa Santos in with Brian Cage, who I'll get to later, which it did make sense for her to come out. But essentially speaking, I'd rather see Josh and Madison Rayne have a storyline together. They've been there long enough. They actually work very good as heels to whatever is possible. Well, let me go back a little bit. When it comes to Madison Rayne, she's a good heel. When it comes to Josh Matthews, he's a very good, annoying heel. Stick them together where one is more better in the ring and the other one is more better than talking. You got something there. I would like to see Josh get away from commentary and pretty much help his wife get over a little bit more. Give us something extra. But let's get to the meat of this entire match, as well as what is the angle. Essentially speaking, the match was actually very good. For me personally, it was better than what I've been seeing in WWE any time of the week. Because at least they went out there and they really tried their best. Women get less than 2 minutes. In some cases, a minute. If you saw my review over on SmackDown, a roll-up for Ember Moon on Charlotte. Are you serious? Ember Moon didn't get a chance to do a damn thing. That pissed me off. So at least I got a chance to see Kiera Hogan, who has improved herself over the last couple of months with her character, and even to a certain extent changed her ring work. Not much. She's still Kiera Hogan. But at least it's different. Then got Madison Rayne saying she wants to be known as the Queen Bee. The Royal Highness, I can't remember. I don't care. I'm alright with it. Because she's better as a heel anyway. But then you see her after that match. And I'm talking about Madison Rayne. She didn't get involved in the match much. Just threw Kiera Hogan back into the ring once. But Kiera lost the match. She starts arguing with Kiera Hogan instead of her being like a protege. I mean Kiera Hogan being a protege of a Madison Rayne. Where they going with it? It's good to see Madison as a heel. It is very good to see Kiera Hogan as a heel. But seeing them clash is not something I agree with. Next. Moose versus a jobber. I think he was Ray Steele. I believe that's his name. He was decimated by Moose, who picked up a mic and said, I am freaking pissed off that I am the guy who holds this place on my shoulders. I promote the company and I don't even get a damn title match. I'm going to get what I want. Pretty much that's what he was saying. After he destroyed that guy even again, he's in my face. He threw Steele up against that the ring skirt and it looked evil. But the question's going to be, where does this lead? Because to be honest, if Moose didn't get himself a title in the tag division with Killer Cross, which he should add, he should have already been champ already by now. To be honest, he should have been champ a while ago. So I don't know where they're going with this. Maybe they're building something up for Bound for Glory. I wouldn't mind seeing Moose get built up for Bound for Glory and getting a payoff there. If they do it right. Yes, it's still several months away from Bound for Glory. I think it's in October. And we're in not even August yet. I know. But at least they could do something. Because I don't see that happening on Unbreakable. Now, the Rascals had a segment. So did LAX. The Rascals are saying, well, we're getting another title match. Ugh. I am bored with this. When it came to Wiz, he goes off to a concert with Gail Kim. Why? I'm not interested in the Rascals. Guys, and this, I gotta say this for one subscriber. I believe he is Mr. TNA 2005. He cares so much about the X Division. I'm sorry. The X Division has not been booked properly. It hasn't. And I'll explain more. But look at the Rascals. They're X Division guys. And they're being treated like they're just a joke. Yeah, they feel to me like they're a bite off of New Day. There are 3 guys there who are great in the ring. And they're trying to be as charismatic and funny as possible like the New Day. And I know not everyone agrees with it, but that's how I feel about it. And they just got nowhere here. And let's go for the X Division title. Rick Swann versus Jake Crist, who gets help from Dave Crist and Mad Dog Fulton. And guess what? He wins. With a very good match. I think the match of the night. It was a damn good match, the match of the night. It wasn't an extraordinary match, but it was a damn good match. But he wins the now coveted, as Mr. TNA 2005 has said, to a Jake Crist, who is in a faction that doesn't spotlight guys like a Jake Crist. They only spotlight one person. I'm going to repeat this for TNA 2005. Well, Mr. TNA 2005. They're only spotlighting Sammy. And you're so hell-bent on protecting the X Division when you know for a fact that if you really want to do something with the X Division, you should have gave it to Sammy. Better yet, you should have Rick Swann turn heel like he should have several months ago, work with Sami Callihan, and that title would mean something with those 2 there. But no, they did not do that. Rick never turned heel, and now you have Jake, who has always been a tag specialist, who should be going for the tag titles, is now X Division champion. I don't see him holding it long. I see him dropping it to someone very quickly. It's going to happen. He's not holding it very long, and if he does, it's not going to be spotlighted. My guess is he's dropping it quick. Now, the second best match of the night. And I know people are going to say, wait a minute, why isn't this one the second best match of the night and the other one the first? Well, I got to be honest for what it was. RVD versus Willie Mac was a damn good match and was the second best match of the night. But it was obvious that there was something going on, because RVD did not come out immediately. I mean, a lot of them didn't come out immediately. It's like they weren't ready. But RVD wasn't even dressed properly. He's adjusting his one piece. He's putting on his straps for his boot covers. He wasn't even stretched. I mean, that could still be just RVD being in character. But it just felt like he wasn't prepared. What's going on? It just didn't feel like it was right. Now, was the match quality good? Yes, it was. It wasn't great. You're still dealing with a 30-something-year-old, I believe, Willie Mac, compared to a 50-year-old RVD, who is a bit slower. He's not as fast as he used to be. And he still goes in the ring. I'm not saying he doesn't. But it was obvious that Willie had to scale back some of his moves to give RVD more time to be able to get into the swing of things. Doesn't mean RVD can't still do the business. He did. But it was obvious that someone like Willie Mac, who's much faster than RVD, had to scale back his speed. It was obvious. So that cut some of that match. That's why it came second place. But it doesn't mean it was a bad match. It was a good match, second in line. Now, I might as well get this over with right now because it was damn funny. What was that? Wait a minute. 2 things that were decently funny, but not. One of them wasn't. You got a little segment between Rosemary and the tile Valkyrie, who I wish to marry and have no children with because I just wanted to be me and her. I hate you, Johnny Impact. But anyway, you got these 2 talking, And this is Taya Valkyrie saying, I can't get Havoc off my back. Why don't you give me a hand? And Rosemary says, no. We had our agreement. When am I getting my title shot? And she pretty much taps the side of the Knockouts title. Until I get one, I ain't gonna help you. So guess who steps in? It's Johnny Bravo. He decides to check in to try and get Havoc off the back of a Taya Valkyrie. And he pretty much roughly says, look, we can do this two ways. We can do it rough or we can do it rough. It's in my face. Rough, baby. How we can do it rough the way you like it, baby. Just a little bit of, it was like it was totally sexualized. Pretty much he was saying, leave her alone, I'll give you the D. That's what he was doing. And pretty much Havoc had nothing to deal with that. She tries to choke his ass out and pretty much says, you're going to get it next time. You're going to pay for that. Which means maybe Havoc is going in the ring with Johnny Bravo. Because she didn't go for the D. And here comes the second part. This is the title of this video. Going for the D. I got to do it. Even though this is in the middle of this review, I'm doing it. You see an Ace Austin hitting on a Alyssa Edwards. I'm really not interested. I'm being honest. I'm not interested in seeing a feud between an Austin versus an Eddie. I'm sorry. Because this looks like it's going there. It's going to go there eventually, that once Eddie finds out that his woman's getting hit on, he's going to go after Ace Austin. But until that happens, this was a bit funny. You see him trying to do some magic, trying to impress her. Then you see him, and I missed the shot of getting the girl because I wasn't able to get it. My capture just did not come out right. It looked really messed up. Sometimes that happens with screenshots. Sometimes it comes out so bad you can't use it. But a single girl was interested in him and he blew her off. I would not have blown her off. Give me that beautiful woman. But then, later, you got Ace Austin with a box saying, I got a bird in this box. Why don't you put your hand in it? She said, no, I don't think there's a bird in the box. He takes his hand off the box, which is strapped to his hip. And he pretty much says, there's a bird in the box. Just go in and grab it. And she says, no, I don't believe you. And then Stone Rockwell comes out. He's in my face. These shots are in my face. It is in my freaking face that he says, I don't like hearing that a bird is locked inside of something that has no air. Where's the bird? Where is it? He pulls the lid off and pretty much he grabs his hand in there and you know what he's grabbing. He's grabbing the damn D, baby. He's grabbing the D. He's grabbing like, ah, and you see Ace Austin just going, ah. And then Rockwell says, kind of scrawny and undernourished. What? It's on my face. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. That was freaking hilarious. It was highly sexualized. But it was worth seeing it. It was just damn funny. I loved it. WWE ain't coming close to that. But is it still going to lead to a feud between Eddie Edwards and Ace Austin? It looks like they're going there. And to be honest, I want to see Eddie in the main title scene. I don't want to see him work with Ace Austin. Now, doesn't mean, and I want to make this clear to anyone who likes Ace Austin, I'm not against Ace Austin. But the way how the X Division has been booked lately, and yes, you got Rick Swann as the champ at least before the match happened between him and Jake Chris. It's not been booked very well. A lot of the wrestling that's been going on has been very sporadic for the title, for the division itself. And anyone that says the division is doing great, you need to reevaluate yourself because we barely see it. It used to be a mainstay of Impact Wrestling. It used to be a mainstay that we would see Samoa Joe, we would see Kazarian, we would see Christopher Daniels, we would see even Jeff Jarrett was in the X Division at one time or another, as far as I understand. You got Kurt Angle in there, AJ Styles in there, you got Bobby Roode, you got the Cowboy, James Storm, all those people at one time or another win through the X Division and then went to the main title. They made the X Division important, and now it's not. You have barely any feuds, and whatever feud you have did not get booked properly. Like I said earlier, you should have seen Rich Swann turn heel and join OVE, and they refused to do it. It was a joke. And it was wrong. Twitch time. It's need to do Twitch time. Melissa Santos. Was her Twitch stream alright? It was actually surprising. I don't know what it was. Maybe the software wasn't working very well, or maybe she just said, you know what, I don't want this intro bit. It's annoying me. I'm just going to go straight into it. Which was a change up. Okay. But she had the cursor in her screen, unfortunately, through the entire show. Through the entire time that Twitch ever came on with her on it. You see the cursor right there at her side, and she didn't even pay any attention to it. Next to that, it was like she might have been drinking. She seemed a little more energetic than normal. So I was wondering if she might have been drinking a little bit. Which, if she did, hell, nothing wrong with that. She can drink. It's her stream. You can do whatever the hell you want. But understand, if you mess up your stream really badly, you get pooned. And in this situation, didn't do anything really bad. And I was alright with it. Now, let's see here. Let's do the one before the final one. I'm not going to do it. You have Cage versus Michael Elgin. And that was supposed to be a street fight. Both of them had done video packages. Well, you got Brian doing a video package. And then you have Elgin doing a interview with, guess who, Melissa Santos. And pretty much ousting that, hey, you're married. If he'd only paid attention to me and made sure he didn't get hurt, and maybe it would have been better that way, instead of messing with your ass. Not to be disrespectful to Melissa Santos, but that's where he was going with it. And she even talked about it on the stream, that she doesn't like to bring her marriage into Impact. But to be honest, sometimes you need to, because you need that kind of storyline, which eventually did happen. It was dropped because of what happened at the street fight, because the street fight didn't happen. Elgin basically whacked the hell out of a Brian Cage, dragged him into the ring, and said simply, this is non-title. I knew you were scared of me. Now I'm going to hurt you bad. And pretty much beats the crap out of a Brian Cage. A Melissa Santos runs out wearing a cut top, which pretty much her boobs almost looked like they wanted to spill out. And I'm sure more than a few people would like to see the boobs. Not to be disrespectful, and just sometimes women have a tendency to forget that if you're in an action type of situation, it would have been better to wear a full top so you don't have to worry about anything spilling out or being seen by camera, because she was a little worried about that. But she could not save her man. She got him to hold back a little bit, but she couldn't get him to be saved. It was Rhino. He finally revealed himself. And who was the one before Rhino that was trying to do something? Who was that? I want to know who that person was. He probably was somebody in the back. But he gets his ass handed to him by, well, the Rhino wannabe got his ass handed to him. About 6 security guys got their ass handed to them. But it was Rhino with the spear that basically nailed Elgin. So now, it looks like we're going to have Mike Elgin versus Rhino. And I thought he was going to Congress. Maybe he didn't make it. Or if he did, he's on like some time off. Anyway, he's now back in Impact. That is Rhino. Final thing was the Sammy and Tessa segment. I have to bring this back up because of one subscriber that I had a very, well, not a heated back and forth. I do respect Mr. TNA 2005. I do respect his point of view. I don't agree with it, but I do respect it. But I did make it very clear that for Tessa to get over, and he stated, and I'm repeating it again, and I know you're not going to want to hear this, dude, but you're going to hear it because you did not agree with me with this. I said in the very beginning of that last video, the last Impact, that she needed to have a faction by her side, a group, someone to back her up. Because if she did win the number one contendership, there's no way it's going to look right with her going up against Brian Cage or Michael Elgin, that's what I said in that last video, by herself. It would look forced. And people would get pissed off no matter how much you say that fans like you or me would not leave. We're not talking about us. We're talking about new fans that the company needs. Having us as older fans. I started watching Impact Wrestling TNA back in 2010 when I actually was able to watch it once I got cable internet. Because before that, I just got a DVD or two. But it's not the point. For Impact to succeed and grow, it cannot just be because of the hardcore fans. It must be because they get new fans to come in, watch the product, pay for the merch, and pay for the tickets. If you actually think that old school fans are going to be willing to fork out huge amounts of money for merch, huge amounts of money for tickets to go, not just tickets to go to the arenas they go to, but get tickets to fly to those areas and pay for their tickets to get into the arena, as well as for anything else, you got another thing coming. It's not going to happen. They need new blood, not just old hardcore fans. You need new fans. And when you see this situation with Tessa Blanchard, it looks forced. And no matter how much, and I'm saying this to you, TNA 2005, well, Mr. TNA, I don't mean to be disrespectful. You cannot actually believe just letting her get the title is going to be something that's going to work. It takes more than just her winning the damn title as a woman being pushed so hard. There's got to be a story that's going to make sense. There's got to be something behind it. So when you look at this segment with Sammy, he calls out Tessa and he says simply, Tessa, I thought you were going to be a pushover. I thought it was going to be easy, but you showed me something. You showed me that you got heart. And I respect that. So before our match, I called you out and said, simply here, I respect you. I consider you not a female wrestler, and this being an intergender feud, but a real, well, he didn't say real feud, but he's saying that this is pro wrestling. We are wrestlers. It don't matter if we're male and female. We are wrestlers. And what's going to happen at Unbreakable is a wrestling match, not an intergender match. And he offers his hand to her, which she felt very apprehensive, but she did eventually shake his hand. And then the most stupidest thing happened. And I know people are going to say, well, that is Sami Callihan for you. That is him. And here's the problem. It wasn't that he went and smacked her on the ass with the mic in his hand. It wasn't it. No. It was the fact that he got decked and got his ass handed to him so freaking easy by Tessa Blanchard. I don't give a blue flying... Try not to curse. Oh, hell. A blue flying fuck. Who it is, male or female. This is the first time Tessa's ever turned face. And yes, you want to make her look strong and dominant, but not ludicrously dominant like a Roman Reigns, because this is where it's going, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm saying this to even Mr. TNA 2005. If they're not careful, Tessa Blanchard will get the Roman Reigns treatment. Do you want that? And you're going to probably say, like a lot of people who's watching this video, they're never going to go there. Really? I'm telling you now. If they think something could work, particularly something from Hollywood that makes it even worse. This is a Hollywood angle. This is a Hollywood storyline. This is not about a woman who shows that she has heart, like a Daniel Bryan, or shows that she had a faction behind her who was dominant like DX with China. This is Tessa Blanchard, who is now a face, who has gone through every guy that she's dealt with. She destroyed the Chris brothers. She destroyed, even though she lost to Sammy, does not make it any different. She beat the crap out of Sammy, and she completely annihilated Disco Inferno. Yes, he's a joke, but it's not the point. The point is that she did that. And this storyline looks forced. And if they're not careful, they're going to do the Roman Reigns treatment, which totally turned off people back in WWE. If they do let her go through this and do destroy, or at least even if it has to be a competitive match between her and Sammy, but she still wins, when she goes up against Brian Cage, if she does not have a faction behind her, someone to back her up, and she does win against Brian Cage, if he's still champion by the time I think of Bound for Glory, because that's where I think this is going to happen. If that is where they're going, they are going to truly turn the fans that they need off. And I'm repeating it again. Not the fans that are established, the hardcore fans, the new fans who's going to pay for their merch, pay for the pay-per-views, pay for the tickets at the arenas. They need to expand. And if they do not, they're not going to stand a chance against a possibly new revamped, I don't even know if WWE is going to revamp themselves, SmackDown and Raw, and the new oncoming AEW. This may be one of the most pivotal points in this company or any company's history, because they got an angle that is very hot right now. A woman that has a chance to get the world title of a promotion. But if they do not book this properly, by the time of their signature pay-per-view, because that's where I think they're going to go with it, if they book this wrong, this will hurt the company. And if you believe, any one of you believe, that you think, well, she's going to win, it doesn't matter, it's going to be an amazing thing. No! It must be booked properly. Because we're not talking about us, the hardcore fans. Because when it comes down to it, we are talking about new fans that's going to pay for them. Because they don't have as much money as you think. Yes, they have a millionaire or near billionaire backing them up. But the billionaire has to make some kind of money not to be in the red. He's got to have something that's going to either be in the black or in the green. And if they're not making money in merch, in ticket sales, in pay-per-view, how do you think they're going to survive? So this is very important. They need to do this right with Tessa and Sammy, and possibly, if they go there with a Brian Cage, if he's still champion by then, because it could be Michael Elgin, or hell, it could be Sammy who wins the title before Bound for Glory, and she's going to have to face him, because if she does not win at Unbreakable, and maybe she goes up against the X Division champion, who is Jake Chris, because it makes sense why Jake Chris would win, because think of it. Let me paint you a picture. Let's say that, like I said, that she needs the X Division title. It makes perfect sense to take it off of a Rick Swan and put it onto a Jake Chris. Because then, before Bound for Glory, she can win that title. And if Sammy wins the title away from either they have some type of tournament, or Sammy goes up against Brian Cage, which looks like he might as well, wins the title, how else is a Tessa Blanchard going to get into the main title scene? It's through the X Division title, through option C. And I repeat it again because I know one of my subscribers couldn't stand hearing that. And it doesn't matter that she's not an X Division high flyer. We've had X Division high flyers that aren't high flyers. I'm sorry. We've had X Division guys, and I'm not talking about last year. I'm not talking about the Abyss. We have other wrestlers that didn't always high fly. And they were great. And in this situation, it makes sense. If they're going to make her go around the bend to do it, it will work. But this is just my point of view. You guys have a good day. I think this is almost 30 minutes long. I hate doing that. Peace!